revolution.
Bookmarklets on standby.
Log online, fan page loaded and ready.
Player stats, loaded. Health check, go.
Weapons check. Eyes check. Complete.
We have launched for the Informant podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Informant podcast. I'm Pistol Pete from Spockholm, and tonight I have with me Jen, the Mafia Wars loot lady. Jenna is taking the night off, and Chester is taking his life off. So, what's going on there, Jen?
Lots of good stuff.
Lots of good stuff.
I had fun listening to the show that you and Jana did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, well, I like listening when I wasn't on it because it's new content to me.
True.
And you guys were making me laugh when you were talking about the Super Bowl halftime show.
An MIA?
Yeah, and Nicki Minaj, you're like, oh, I can't remember their names. You were reaching.
Little tap dancing going on there. Trying to remain politically correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was cute.
Yeah.
And I took the under for the Giants and won.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was happy. It was a good Super Bowl.
It was an excellent Super Bowl. It really was. It was a fun one to watch. Nail biter to the end.
Yeah. I was kind of worried at halftime. Like, I was feeling good, and then the Patriots scored. So then at halftime, the Giants were down, and I'm like, oh, I hope they can come back up.
Those two teams, boy, they are rivals, boy. They can fight it out till the end. So.
Well, this is their second Super Bowl together.
Uh-huh.
I think it was in 2007 last time.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not a big football person. I just like to bet on the games.
Yeah, and that game, the Patriots came in undefeated in the entire season.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's one of those long-lasting rivalries now. I'm gonna think what else is going on. I did with my son. I did the Science Olympiad, and we launched bottle rockets, and they did mousetrap car made from a mousetrap to give it propulsion. That was kind of fun. They won first.
Oh.
He didn't in the bottle rockets. I think he said he did 8th out of, I think there were 14 or 18, 28 teams or something. So wasn't great, but it was better than obviously some others. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
They're busy now doing Lego robotics, so that's pretty interesting too. Trying to think what's going on over at Spockholm. We had I think the only thing really of note was that on the family stats pages that we kind of keep track of. I mean, there's like over 17,000 individual families that have been created. And Martin created some new filtering a little bit so that you can search, a couple of 100 records at a time, page by page. So there's some pagination there, so you can actually see all the families if you wanted to look through it. So that's kind of a nice update. Other than that, we're working on trying to figure out a better way to be able to deal with this begging crap. And I think we're really leaning towards sort of like a old mugger / Linko database kind of thing. And it's been brought up a couple of times, and I think we just need to formulate our thoughts and strategize on what we want to put together and get out there so that the public has something to deal with this nonsense. I'm up to level 9, I think, now. We've got 6 days left. Yeah, I'll probably be at 12 or 13 as I estimate.
We were given a 2-day extension.
Is that what it was? I thought the number seemed like it went up. But
yeah.
I wasn't paying a tremendous amount of attention.
I wasn't either. And I had made a blog post last night because there were newsfeed problems. Mm-hmm. And I remember taking the screenshot, and they're saying there were 4 days left. And then today when I was on my homepage, I'm like, hey, it says 6 days. So I went back and compared the screenshots, and I was like, oh, wow, they gave us an extension. But I couldn't find anything of them announcing it.
Yeah.
So it was a self-discovery extension.
Interesting. So. Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Oh, but that's probably why, because there's been 3 instances of newsfeed outages or newsfeed issues since this property was released. And that really does damage to the person trying to upgrade because, we're on a timer and you can't be on your computer 24/7. So if it's your time to ask and your news feeds won't post.
Yeah, then you're kind of up a creek.
Yeah.
Yep, true.
I know another thing you need to talk about.
What's that?
The 3-second penalty.
I guess I need to be reminded what the 3-second penalty is.
Okay, Ike listened to 2 shows ago when Jana and I were talking about feeling guilty about not returning gifts. And then when we discussed it on the next show, you apologized for not telling us. And then we were like, well, why would somebody not send back a gift? And it was faster is the reason. So Ike listened and he came up with an idea, and he added a 3-second penalty wait if you choose
funny.
to not send a gift back.
I didn't even know that. Oh, that's hilarious.
It's kind of funny. So, and there was some controversial comments about it too. Some people are angry.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're saying that you're trying to tell them how to play the game, and you're like Zynga.
Yes, we are. We have Zynga blood running through our veins.
And it's simple. If you don't want to send a gift back, then go do it manually. It's faster.
Yeah, go use your, what do you call it? Your, well, you could use the ZMC agent and never send them back.
Yeah.
So I'd do that there. Take some of that.
Unless Ike adds it to the ZMC agent too.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the ZMC agent's faster if you were just, going to deal with the buttons that show up on the screen. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I know. I hadn't noticed the 3-second. I've always sent back. That's why for me it became second nature. I hardly thought about it when you guys were talking about it the one show.
So if you keep that box unchecked, it'll say you sent the gift, and then the next line on the log will say, no gift return, a 3-second penalty. Or no, a 3-second penalty wait is what it says. It's kind of funny.
Yep. I do have, before we get into all the game stuff that's changed and a couple of big things that are pending out there, we did get one rant that came in one time, and it was from Ina Springer. He said during the podcast 134, 135, it was suggested New York Properties boycott was for seeking attention. I started as a protest as my status post on January 23rd and kept reposting. On January 26th, a like-minded supporter who remains unknown to me created the boycott page. I stand on principle, not for me, but for players that don't use credit cards who play 16 hours a day or every day. Additionally, I knew I was not alone and find it beyond merely annoying to see the frenzy of part-begging posts flooding our feed, hogging the real estate that could not justify taking part in something like that. I found so distasteful. Now you know the honest truth from the original source. Respect, Ina. Yeah, and probably to stand corrected. I mean, we're not saying. I was part of the conversation. We weren't saying that was only it, but there were definitely some people involved that was their motive.
Well, and I made a reference to a previous boycott that was attempted,
right.
And that one was for attention because the people of the sites that started they were spamming their own sites.
Yeah.
And I think if you start a true, genuine boycott, you need to keep your links out of it and focus only on that.
Exactly. And the problem we had with the boycott, and not to rehash all this anyway, is that it doesn't work with Zynga. They could care less. I mean,
Nope.
if it was a normal company with normal morals and values, then it probably would have had an impact if somebody and a group of people got behind it and did it. But to them, we're just numbers. And until that ever changes, we can boycott, we can do whatever they want. They know one of two things are going to happen. One is we're going to come back or somebody else is going to come back. So, it's just one of those things. You almost have to tackle it in some other more subversive ways. One of the key ways is just don't do it anymore. Don't give them the metrics that they need completely. I mean, if you don't want to if you want something to disappear from the game, then people just over time need to stop doing it. Not just once because they released one new property. It's just like from that point on. I mean, that's the reason why they finally got rid of the daily chance is no one was using it. It's the reason why the crime spree disappeared. It's the reason why whatever's next on it, loyalty program, they're not getting the returns or the value out of it that they perceive, so they'll probably pull it too. So
Trader no go.
Yeah, he's on the way out. Unfortunately,
he's got to be on the chopping block.
I'll run out of skip material, but yeah, true. I mean, if you don't want to see something like that in there, it needs to be a long-term, strategic. We want to see this gone, and here's how we're gonna, go after this. It's not this, well, we're just going to shut down for a weekend. That's not going to do it. You just stop doing that particular task. It's like me, look, I fought hard to get to the begging done, the last one, and I've now resigned myself. It's not going to happen, and I haven't even pushed hard to do it this time, and nor will I. I mean, occasionally I'll post my ask links just like anybody else would, but I'm tired of fighting it. And and it'll get to the point where I'll just say, the heck with it. The next one will come out, and if there's nothing of value in it for me, item-wise or otherwise, I'm eventually just going to say, look, there's enough properties out there for me to craft, and I craft from the same ones over and over anyway, so then why am I going to waste my time now trying to get begging links? I'll go back and focus on doing my robbing, my jobbing, or whatever else. So, I think strategically we need to be a little bit more covert than overt with regard to, a strategy to get something removed from the game. That's just my 2 cents, though, and
Well, you always say that
I'll do
about
it for the
pop-ups too. Don't click on them. X
Yeah,
them out
and
get
that's
to them.
and it's sent somewhat of a message, because when they started finding out they weren't getting their metrics on it, then what'd they do? They started changing some stuff, and they actually added some controls within the support menu to be able to turn off some of the pop-ups. So I mean, you can get the message sent, and and I think over time the pack that is still there, it's just not as active. I think they'll continue to push for change that's in the best interest of players. I think at some point someone at Zynga will have some control and some ability to be able to implement some change that's good for the players. I have a sneaky suspicion of that, but everything takes time, and we're willing to sit through it and wait it out a bit. And yeah, the water's getting a bit cold on the lower decks, but hey, well, we're all right.
Yeah.
So, and
I feel the same about their surveys too.
yeah.
Like I won't post them because I don't think they read them. I think they want a survey and they want to see how many people filled it out, and those are the only 2 things they care about.
Right.
And so if it's something where there's obvious flaws, then I'll make a push to do that survey so that it's higher than the normal ones. But they need to have more feedback mechanisms for us than just fill out the same survey we ask for every feature.
Right. And I will make one final comment. I did talk to customer service again, and my issue with the war problem is still an issue, but they helped me get through that part of my mission, so at least I can move forward. So credit to the second person I got in support that it was finally at least resolved to my satisfaction, that I could at least move on. Because the day after we recorded that one show and I talked about my issue with that war, the next dang day it happened to me again. Someone snuffed me in a war right after I had won. And so when I went to go collect my win and get my credit on my mission, I couldn't get it. And I said, that's it. And happened to be live chat was back up, so I got a hold of somebody and they squared me away. But it's frustrating. This is the kind of stuff that they really just need to fix so that we're not pulling our hair out over this stuff that should just be, common sense fixes in the game. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. But so Jen, what's going on in the game?
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff, but nothing really too eventful. We got a new ice season, a new gifting event, more secret districts.
Just the same old crap as we always do.
Hey, it's Chester.
Chester.
What's that?
What's up? We wanted you here tonight.
I'm here. Ask
We're-
and you shall receive.
Guess what we're going to talk about?
Sex.
No, a glitch.
Honey badgers. I heard that you had a dirty mouth the other night. You were
What?
talking all sorts of crazy stuff, weren't you?
No.
Like
it was
honey badgers and what was the word you were going after?
I have no idea.
Bearded clam?
Yeah,
Oh,
the bearded clam.
That
What's
was
up
like
with your dirty
20
mouth. See what happens? I leave and you start in.
Yeah,
and
that's
fill in
like
my
20
shoes.
episodes ago there, Chester. You're a little bit behind.
It
Yeah.
wasn't 20 episodes. It was like 4 or 5. Don't give me that.
Well, I'm
If
glad you're
that
here.
meant you what?
I said we're glad you're here because I think your opinions on what we're going to talk about will be valuable.
Oh, you're gonna talk about sex?
No,
Damn.
this is a clean show, except when we talk.
Really, except for when you're talking about bearded dragon. So, hello, Pete.
How are you, sir?
I'm well.
Good.
You still got Mike in the hopper?
He's still in the hopper.
Always.
Wonderful.
Although he monitors you regularly from the hopper to find out how many ices you do.
Once in a while, I'll jump on and do like 5 or 6
That's
or
what
10.
he says.
something
Says,
like
oh my
that.
God, Chester did 5 ices this week.
Isn't that genius?
Yep.
See, I'm still important, even though I left. So.
Yippers.
Cool.
We're about to let Jen carry into her section.